the most important step in becoming who you want to be is choosing who you want to be. It may sound simple, but it is the first step in my new book, Craft Your Character, that I've only released recently. And yeah, there's 7 steps that I've come up with or discovered on my own journey to becoming who you want to be and becoming your true self. And it sounds simple and obvious, but the first step is to choose that person. But despite being so simple and obvious, so many people actually forget about this step, and I speak about that more in the book. Because maybe not most, but many people go through their lives kind of living out these unconscious programs since their childhood. So we don't often actually take the time to question what we're doing. We may assume we love playing. For me, I played football. I was, quite academic in school, good at subjects like business and maths, and always had this vision of becoming someone who worked in a big company or something like that. I don't know where that came from. I just had that vision. But it was until I started to look inwards and start to question, well, why do I have this desire to work in a big company or play football for my county Meath? That was one of my dreams when I was a kid. And I started to question these things and ask, are these my authentic dreams, or are they what I believe my father wants me to do, or what I believe will make me feel accepted and loved by the world? And once I started to question these beliefs, it took me a long time, because I went and got a job in IT and worked there for a couple of years, but realized this isn't my path. Why did I choose this? And it was only after I realized I didn't really choose it. I thought I did, but it was my program from childhood that made me believe if I was successful and if I achieve things, I will get love in return. And that led me to becoming this overachiever and trying to do well in school. And, these things are complex. I suppose part of me did enjoy that sense of achievement too, but the real root of it all, I think, was driven from this place of lack, this place of I'm not good enough and I have to achieve things to feel good about myself or to be worthy of love. And even with football as well, like I remember, I enjoyed playing football for the most part, but it was never like a huge passion. You'd see other people going to other games and being so passionate about everything, and I was just like, I play the game, but I don't care too much about it apart from when I'm playing. And again, I realized in later years that it was more so maybe because my father really wanted me to play football, and I think it was a great, I learned so much from playing football, and it was a great sport to be involved in. I think it's so good to be involved in sports as a young person. But yeah, it was like that drive to play started to drift away when I started connecting to myself. I'm like, I actually feel like my purpose is something else. It's not just to play football and to get a good job in IT. So yeah, I think it's really important to just question, who do you want to be, and to not do it from your head. And so much of us in today's society, we're thinking up here and we're making decisions with our minds, and really we need to come back down to the heart and connect in with the intuition, because I believe this is the seat of the soul. The heart is the seat of the soul, you'd hear in some traditions, and I also believe that myself from experience. So in order to connect to who you truly are, we need to start moving down to the heart, because the mind is it's more like a computer in some sense. It's more full of programs, and if we're just living from the mind, we're not really connecting to that deeper sense of who we are and who we want to be. And I speak a bit more about this and how it's, some people say life is about finding yourself. George Bernard Shaw had a quote that life is not about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. And I think it's a mix of the two. I think we discover who we are within when we connect into our heart, into that depth of who we are as human beings. And we also get to create who we are. We get to choose the type of person we want to be. That's why when we see people we maybe look up to when we're younger as role models. We can start to craft ourselves to become more like them, or become, I suppose, craft those character traits and those qualities that we see. It's not about becoming the same as someone, it's picking out those character traits or those qualities or those skills that you admire and you would like to have for yourself. So yeah, there's a process that I go through, a couple of steps for just this first part of choosing who you want to be. Some of the exercises are similar to my last book for this step, because that was all about discovering your destination. So it's all about self-reflection, and just breaking it down into, your values, your passions, what you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have. All of these things come into it. So yeah, I hope you get a chance to check out the book. I will be sharing more about the other steps in the journey. And again, this is just my own insights from my journey and from reading many books and doing many courses and studying with many different teachers over the years. And yeah, I'm hoping that this, breaking it down into this structure, might help guide people when they're on their own journeys. And I think every journey is going to be unique. Every person's, soul is unique. So I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be read the book and you'll follow this path. It's just a bit of a guide and a few lessons and a few stories and a few exercises to hopefully give some sort of understanding to a journey that can be quite confusing at times and quite scary at times and quite difficult at times. So yeah, if you would like to check out the book, you can check out the link in the description. It should send you to our Wolf Academy books section. And yeah, we'd love to hear your comments and feedback. If you've read the book, please let me know. I would love to get some feedback. And I will see you on the next video.